Hello and welcome to March to the Pod, presented by Eternal Roofing, roofing that you can trust with your home. This is season 3, episode 14. We're talking cushions, chaos, and coaching calls. Before we get to play UTEP tonight in 2 hours, that begins. I'm Corey Hogue, your host, producer, once banned catfans.com member, who believes the Cats should go get James Franklin on the cheap and use the money saved to buy out 4th and Longo. You can find me on social media at Corey Hogue Sports. It's all one word, CORYHOGUE Sports. And check out my Substack where I cover Texas non-FBS football every week. As always, I'm joined by the only ball knower of the show, Sports of SHSU on Twitter and Instagram. He's the COO of the Cat Fund, proud Bearkat himself, Ben Sorrells. And Benjamin, we started this last week. I need something positive, man, especially before we watch this game with UTEP later.
Yeah, the American football has not been great, but the European football, or like some of us call soccer, continues to roll. At Sam Houston, 3-1-1 through 5 games, have a really big road trip coming up. I think they're tied for 3rd in Conference USA, so just an incredible season so far from soccer. Really excited about what they're doing. I continue to say it's an incredible job what Coach Kendall Ayers has done, considering about a third of your roster wasn't there after the coaching transition, had to bring in freshmen and transfers. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun to watch the soccer team, and big road trip this week with Missouri State and FIU, and we'll see what they do.
First off, only the uneducated call it soccer, okay? Second, you're telling me that there's a coach on campus, replaced a coach, hired late in the process, had to replace a lot of teams, had to use the transfer portal, and is being successful?
Yeah, and I said, a week or two ago, it's kind of apples and oranges, but it can be done, and it has been done at places.
Interesting. That is very interesting. Before I get myself in any further trouble and we review the Jack State game, and man, is that going to be fun, let's hear a word from our friends over at Eternal Roofing.
Eternal Roofing and General Contracting is your choice for integrity work in the Texas Hill Country. Taylor Andrus and crew provide experienced quality roofing services with a mission of roofing with faith, serving with integrity, and sheltering homes in the spirit of stewardship. Don't just take our word for it. Here's what satisfied customer Pamela Allen had to say about Eternal Roofing. They did a great job on our patio roof, came out quick for a quote. The quote was very reasonable, and they started and finished work well and quickly. Not a bad thing to say about Eternal Roofing. Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539, or you can email them taylor@eternalroofingtx.com.
Let's jump right into the misery that was the Jack State game last week on CBS Sports Network. Gamecocks got on the board first 7-yard touchdown run by quarterback Caden Creel with 8:57 left, and they appeared to be set to extend that lead to 10 points later in the first quarter, but Emon Allen had other plans.
From 35. And it's blocked again. Great play by the Sam Houston special teams. Emon Allen gets a hand on it.
That was a great blocked field goal by Emon Allen. And the thing that stands out to me there, Benjamin, is that one fan that near the microphone yelling, block that kick, and Emon Allen hurt him.
Yeah, I did hear that too. And Jack State went with that funky alignment all night on the field goal. And it didn't work for them there at the start. And you found something. I think they adjusted a little bit later on. But, yeah, that funky alignment kind of came back to haunt them, it looked like.
I think sometimes special teams coaches try to get too cute with stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it. You'll see it at the high school ranks. You definitely see it at the college ranks. Not so much right now at the NFL, but yeah, I mean, don't get too cute. Just do what you got to do and do it well and block the field goal attempt.
Yes.
But Garrison Ripa had another chance. 30-yard field goal early in the second quarter, and Jack State had a 10-0 lead. But Sam Houston State responded with an 8-play drive that gained a whopping 17 whole yards, an incredibly productive 2.1 yards per play, before Jax State somehow forced the Cats offense to punt for the 4th consecutive drive. However, Curtis Durand, I looked it up, that's how it's pronounced on the pronunciation guide, Curtis Durand, had a tremendous punt for the 2nd week in a row that was downed at the 1-yard line.
Hit the open receivers when they're available. Well, Phil Longo wants to run an air raid offense, and so far, Hunter Watson just 5 for 9 passing in that offense. A great punt by Curtis Durand. Inside the 5, marked down at the 1.
Fantastic punt. Great job by the cameraman of getting faked out by the upback. And that's easy to do. Listen, that's just easy to do. But I also think, Ben, that was a very advantageous spot. That looked more like 2-yard line to me, maybe 3 than it did the 1-yard.
Yeah, I think they might have spotted it where he touched it, maybe not where they downed it, which was definitely probably a 2-yard difference. But night and day difference with the special teams to start the game compared to how it ended against New Mexico State, which was a good sign to see.
It certainly was. So Jax State backed up at their own 1-yard line, and that drive lasted exactly 1 play.
We'll hear from Dante Moore talking to Jenny Dell at halftime. Well, starting at the 1-yard line, Caden Creel holds it. Ball is down on the ground. Sam Houston says they have it. All the way in the end zone. It's a touchdown.
Forget your halftime talk for now. We got the Cats forcing a fumble. Cecil Powell forced it, recovered by Dean Ford, and the Cats are set up at the 1-yard line, Ben.
Yeah, and this defense a lot this year and they've definitely made a lot of progress, and we've hit on that. Obviously, they haven't been great, but they have been very advantageous when it comes to the turnovers and very timely with the turnovers. So that was a big timely one, made a big play, and another really big play from the defense as they continue to improve.
They gave the ball to the offense at the 1-yard line, and they capitalized with only 1 play. With this touchdown run with 10:30 remaining until halftime.
Watson in the shotgun with O'Neal in motion. Handoff. Landon Brown into the end zone. Touchdown, Sam Houston.
Landon Brown touchdown, and that was something this offense desperately needed, even if it was just a 1-yard drive.
Yeah, just some sort of success to get under your feet, and it definitely helped them moving forward. And Coco Brown, big part of the offense. I think he'll continue to be. We'll hit on that in a little bit. But, yeah, that was a big play to be able to punch it in and not go backwards, have to settle for a field goal. So really big momentum change. And kind of throughout the rest of the game, the offense started to find a groove, I think maybe because of that.
Does he prefer Coco or does he prefer Landon?
Coco. That's how I've always heard him be referred to. His name is Landon, but he goes by Coco.
Okay. Outstanding.
It's a lot more fun to say Coco anyway.
It really is. In fact, what's that loco new team where the Bananas have?
Yeah.
I got sidetracked. Not that I've put in for more banana ball this year, but I have. Jax State extended the lead back to 10 points on its next offensive possession with an 8-play, 75-yard drive. However, Sam Houston's offense had another response, and a fun football game was starting to break out. Quavez Humphreys capped a 4-play, 75-yard drive with this touchdown reception from Hunter Watkins.
A 20-yard gain for Watson. First and goal from the 4. Fake handoff, looking to throw. He lofts it into the end zone. Touchdown, Quavez Humphreys. His first of the season.
I take my eyes off what I'm reading to look over here, and I say the wrong name. How about that? Hunter Watson with the 4-yard touchdown pass. And it's really good to see Quavez Humphreys get a touchdown reception as well.
Good to see him get involved. I know Longo mentioned a couple weeks ago they're looking for guys to kind of become the alpha number 1 guys, and Quavez had a couple more catches last week, had the touchdown this week. Obviously, the emergence of Chris Reed, which we'll get into in a little bit, but good to see Quavez get involved, and that was a huge drive for Hunter. I think it was a 37-yard rush, 20-yard rush, and then there was a rush by the running back, and then the touchdown, and that's where it really felt like the offense started to click, and Hunter really got going.
Entered the locker room, Jacksonville State leading 17-14, but you did feel the momentum. You knew the second half was going to be a fun one, and I don't know about fun, but it definitely had drama attached to it.
A lot of it, yes.
Cats defense opened the third quarter with a stop, and something unusual happened. The offense capitalized again. An 8-play, 80-yard drive that ended with Hunter Watson finding Chris Reed in the end zone for a 20-yard touchdown and a 21-17 lead.
Loss of 5, a jump on the snap. Watson with a free play, lofts it into the end zone. It's caught. He made the catch, twirling in the corner of the end zone.
Terrific play right there. You got Watson, saw the defense jump offside. Reed knew to go to the end zone. He threw a nice jump ball. Reed goes up high, points it, catches it. And now be dang, Benjamin, the Cats have an actual lead in a real game.
First time since the third quarter against WKU, which was just crazy when you think about it, because I was thinking about that also, and then they brought it up in the broadcast. But yeah, felt good to lead, and that was a great play by Hunter. Realized the guy was offside. You're gonna make a throw, a deep throw, and made a great throw to the back shoulder where only his guy could get it.
RJ Lopez put the ensuing kickoff out of bounds at the 2-yard line. But don't worry, the Cats defense is doing well. They held firm. They kept a slim lead, and that's how it was going into the fourth quarter. The Cats had a lead, and you knew this final quarter is where it was going to be decided, but you got to feel good if you have a chance.
Oh, yeah, especially after the last few weeks where, you really didn't have a chance. It's been a 17-plus point game for the most part. In Mexico State, you were down by 3 going into the fourth, but they blew that open pretty quick. So had to feel good that knowing you had a legitimate shot going into the fourth quarter.
Indeed, they did. And Jack State opened the final stanza with a 26-yard field goal to pull within 1 point. The Cats offense had a 3-and-out, and the Gamecocks capitalized with a 5-play, 52-yard drive that ended with a 7-yard touchdown run by Cam Cook to give Jacksonville State a 26-21 lead after the 2-point conversion attempt failed. The important thing I want to point out here is while Cam Cook had his opportunities, and at times he certainly showed why he's an NFL-level back, I thought the defense, for the most part, did a pretty good job on him that night.
They did. And he had a ton of touches, and that's part of the reason why he had so many yards. But they were able to corral him a decent amount and keep him inside the tackles, because if you get him outside the tackles and he gets shifty, that's when it's really hard to bring him down. But I thought they did a decent job, and did as really a good of a job as you possibly could with that kind of guy. He'll be playing on Sundays very soon.
Oh, he will. He is definitely an NFL guy. So Sam Houston's offense fumbled on its next drive. But again, that defense – go ahead. What were you going to say about
that? I was going to say, do you have any thoughts on that call? Because a lot of people thought they should have blown it dead because there were 4 people on Hunter by the time it happened, and there was no forward progress. I think it's 50-50, but it was definitely something fans weren't happy about.
Those calls right there, a lot of times whatever they called on the field is what's going to stay.
Yeah.
That's what happened there on that fumble, whether you agree or not. It's unfortunate, but that's kind of what it is. But, hey, that defense kept them off the board despite the excellent field position that they were starting with. And the defense stopped JSU on this crucial 4th down and 1.
Division II transfer is now the left guard. Hand off to Andrew Paul, who absorbs a big hit.
Division II transfer didn't block him, did he? No. Big time stop by the Cats defense right there.
Big stop, yeah, and the defense just continues to improve. It's impressive if they could just do enough to have the offense hang around. They might have a shot to win games. So yeah, just continue to be impressed by this defense's improvement. That was a big stop, and it's hard to continue to stop the run when they're just trying to lean on you all game. So that was super impressive.
That was, and we're going to talk about what happened next here after the end when there is some post-game commentary about this. But on 1st and 10 from the Gamecocks 47-yard line, Cats got cute. attempted reverse pass from Tim Burns to Hunter Watson. Gamecocks weren't fooled. Burns wisely held the ball, but that was a 12-yard loss. But you know what, though? Even though it was second and long ago, the offense pulled through this time. 8-play, 59-yard drive, highlighted by Watson, connecting with Reed once again for a 19-yard touchdown.
Sam Houston 3 of 4 in the red zone tonight. Watson throws right, deep, into the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. Chris Reed gives Sam Houston the lead.
Beautiful ball thrown there by Hunter Watson.
It was awesome. A great throw. And after the Tim Burns play, it looked like the drive was going to stall because it was 3rd and 20, I think, or so.
Yep.
Yeah. It was 3rd and a lot. And Hunter hit Austin Smith right up the middle. I mean, just the tightest of windows to get him into that spot, and then made that play right after. So Hunter Watson's arm was as good as it's looked all year, and it was definitely showed on that drive.
It was. So with 52 seconds left, the Cats called timeout to get their best 2-point conversion play. Surprise. It was another reverse pass attempt with Tim Burns to Hunter Watson, and Jack State, shockingly, diagnosed it. They covered Watson again, forced Burns to attempt to run the ball in the end zone. He was stopped short, and we're going to discuss that again in a minute. But Sam Houston held now a 27-26 lead. That missed 2-point conversion play kind of played a factor here with under a minute to play. So could this be the first win for Sam Houston in 2025? A poor kick return pinned Jacksonville State at its own 17-yard line with 47 seconds left. They convert a 4th and 2, 18-yard run by Cook. That puts them at its own 43-yard line. There's 10 seconds on the clock. Caden Creel completes a 17-yard pass to Pearson Baldwin at the Cats' 40-yard line. All right, and now you're like, okay, we can't play prevent anymore, right? That's what you're thinking if you're at home. You're thinking no more prevent, and then you thought, oh, they're going to try and kick it here, 57-yarder. But the Gamecocks kept the offense on the field, which signals to me that neither the kicker nor the coach believes that guy can make a 57-yard field goal. So they rush to the line. Longo notices that they're not going to run the kicker out. He calls a timeout. Smart timeout. Get that defense set. You let them know that they are to come up and guard that sideline. Don't give them a quick out. They're out of timeouts, right? If anything, making an incomplete pass, let's let this guy that they don't trust to hit from 57, let's go make him do it. He hadn't even hit from 50 in a game in his collegiate career. Why not? That's not what happened. They gave a big cushion on the sideline. Jacksonville State got a 5-yard pass, put them that much closer. So Longo used his final timeout to ice the kicker. But this is the Cats in 2025, and Ripa made the field goal to send Jack State home with a 29-27 victory. That one hurt. Sam Houston falls to 0-6 and 0-3 in Conference USA. But before we discuss the sequence at the end of the game, let's go back and start with the reverse pass attempts on the offense's last drives, and hear what Phil Longo had to say about those play calls.
We had a throwback to the quarterback. We really felt good about the play. Thought it could be the big hitter, and give us the lead. Tim actually did a smart thing. I know some people were probably frustrated. He pulled it back down and didn't throw it, but somebody snuffed out our quarterback, and it's an all or nothing play there. And so you just have to damage control that play and take the loss. And then we overcame it and moved the ball and scored and took the lead. But there's two plays that we run that I would have never thought we would run both in the same game that involved Tim throwing the football. And we tried to get to one on the 2-point conversion too. We thought that 2-point conversion was really important. And so we didn't pull them off. Tim did a good job of trying to run it in. That's the second option if he doesn't have Hunter, and he didn't, and he gave it his best effort. We didn't get in, but I don't regret calling them. We felt like they were good plays. And we tried to call them at calculated times, and they just didn't fly for us tonight.
Okay, well, first, I would recommend that we don't run those plays again, and you should regret calling them, because if that's your best 2-point conversion play, and let's be clear, that is something that teams are supposed to work on all the time. That's not the greatest. A reverse pass from 3 yards, not the most highly successful play if that's your best 2-point play. My opinion, of course.
Yeah, to hit on the first one, driving to go try to take the lead late in the game, I don't feel like that's the right time to call it. I don't mind that it's in the playbook. I don't think that's the time to call it, especially with the way the offense had been moving. Because like you said, it's an all or nothing play, and if you get nothing and you get pushed back, I mean, that might be the game. So that I don't hate the play call in principle. It just wasn't the right time. The 2-point conversion play, a couple thoughts there. The first one is you took a timeout, which that's fine. You want to get a good play call in. And then they tried to take another timeout. You can't take 2 timeouts in a row. And that caused a whole delay, and that was weird. And then you run the reverse play, and obviously at the 3-yard line, that's not the best play call. And I think, obviously, because it's not a good play call at the 3, but also you just had been leaning on the Jacksonville State defense the whole time. I mean, 5 to 7 yard chunk runs with Brown and McCaskill. It just felt so obvious. Just run some sort of RPO, some option with Hunter Watson at the 3-yard line. It just made too much sense to go to one of those 2 plays, but I don't know why you tried to get cute there. So just a wild sequence with those 2 end arounds.
I am perfectly fine with those plays being in the playbook. But to me, that sequence, it's something that has popped up. The longer this losing streak continues, the worse this season gets, the more desperate I feel decisions are being made. I feel that the head coach is making decisions, and that's Phil Longo, is making decisions based off desperation rather than smart game management.
Yeah, that was one of them.
And both of those on that drive, that's desperation. That's not smart.
And I think you were the better team.
Yes.
Like there at the end, I mean, it felt like you had the momentum. You were kind of outplaying them with our offense compared to their defense. It was not the right time. Now, if this is middle of the second quarter and you're down 10-3 and you want to try to pop a trick play, totally fine with me. If it busts, it busts, whatever. But you just cannot afford to lose 10 to 15 yards on a trick play, and you can't afford to run a trick play at the 3-yard line, especially after you just did it a handful of plays earlier.
And it didn't work. Like,
right.
Obviously, they're a little disciplined, which is good. Like, Jacksonville State, give them credit. They made the stop. Now, the other part, the calling the timeouts. I like the timeout call there. The cushion, okay. It was not asked about this post game. There was not a question presented, and Fobbs did try to ask the question in the Monday or Tuesday press conference. Monday press conference. He tried to ask the question, but it got coach speaked around it. That's why you do it after the game. Less likely to get the coach speak comment. And look, nothing on the media who is at the game. I've been in those situations. I know how this happens. There's some places that forces you to get down towards the field with 5-6 minutes left. And then there's other times you're trying to get down there hurrying so that you can get a video that's going to work out well. I get that, right? Like, we've been there. You got a job. I'm not blaming anyone for not asking about that after the game. But what I want to ask you, Ben, and I know he's not the defensive coach, but somebody could at least throw a reminder on a headset to guard the sideline.
Yeah. Sideline play. I mean, if you go back and look at the replay, you can typically see 10 to 12 yards on a live shot. There were no DBs within the live shot. I mean, there were probably 6 or 7 in the box, and the corners and safeties were playing 15, 20 yards back. And the more I thought about it, I was thinking, did the defense think that they were going to try to throw it to the end zone? Like maybe they thought that I don't know. That is the only valid reason I can come up with or think of why you would be playing 15 plus yards off right there.
No one thought, hey, quick pass out of bounds. They can do it in 3 seconds and still get a kickoff. Huh?
That I don't know. I'm trying to find some sort of devil's advocate here.
No, it's possible. That is possible. I would probably put less in the box in that situation.
Oh yeah.
And more closer on the side because look, they had 5 seconds left. So if they go inbounds at all, you've got a good chance to stop them. I'm backing my linebackers 15, 20 yards downfield, right? But my corners are going to be right up here playing press man.
Yeah.
I'm not letting them get a pass out. Like that was the easiest play Jack State had all night, and it set them up for the win. That after they got that 5 yards, you knew what was about to happen.
Yeah.
It was inevitable at that point.
Yeah, and those were if you look at the field goal, it got through by probably 3 or 4 yards. It didn't have 57 on it. And another thing that some Sam Houston people were frustrated about, and I understand this gripe, is the 2 plays before the 5-yard pass. One play there was like 1 second added. Another play there was 2 seconds added. The clock in that stadium has been a nightmare the 2 games you've played there. Maybe the refs were right, maybe they weren't. But I know a lot of people were very frustrated that Jack State was able to attempt that 5-yard pass because there were 3 seconds added, because if there's 2 seconds, you're probably kicking the field goal from 57.
Nothing you can do about that.
And that's what I told someone. You gotta play the hand you're dealt. And
you still had a chance to stop them from getting those yards, right? Like,
right.
I get it's not advantageous, but you see that in every game. They at the end, if there's a timeout, they add a couple of seconds back because from the time the coach says timeout to the time the referee blows the whistle, it's going to take a little bit of time. So they will add some on there. I mean, I just don't want to go into the excuses. What I do want to say is, that's probably the most crushing loss I've seen of Sam Houston in a long time.
Since 2023, when there were just a string of them, because there were none really last year, so it's been like a year and a half. And it was like the middle of the 23 season. You won 3 of the last 4, so it's been a season and a half since you really had any sort of tough, crushing loss.
Yeah, it was tough. Jason Plotkin is watching on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching. Whose crew is working the press box? Is it the Sam Houston game day crew?
It's a good question. I don't think it is. I think all of it's outsourced to the stadium operations there. But that's just my guess and kind of from what I've heard, but I don't know 100%.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, we know that the Sam Houston people are doing stats.
And
SIDs Barfield will be on the radio tonight.
He is, yep, with Brian Adams.
So, I mean, we know that, but as far as like the clock crew and stuff, I don't know. That's a great question. That's a great question to maybe try and find out if Bob's or somebody is watching that's headed to the game. Maybe pose that question, like who's doing that? Because that would be a good one to find out.
Yeah, because it has been the first game was really, really bad, where there was no running clock in the stadium and the refs were keeping time. And then I think to start the second half, the clock wasn't working. And then at the end of the game, it was all over the place with the clock. So, yeah, it's been maybe third time's the charm. Maybe tonight will be a little better.
I've seen clock issues at that place when Texas Southern plays there, too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's something that stadium needs to get a handle on is the clock.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we head into previewing tonight's game that's coming on here in about an hour and a half, we're going to hear some more words from our friends over at Eternal Roofing. But before we do, if you're enjoying the show, and even if you're not, you can help us grow by rating and reviewing March to the Pod on your favorite podcast platform and subscribe to our Substack page. Good Lord. marchtothepod.substack.com and on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. March to the Pod, the number 2. March, number 2, the Pod Find us Substack, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search it. You will find us. We're also part of the Conference USA Podcast Roundtable, and we are proud to be a part of this that has shows covering, I cannot speak today, all 12 Conference USA programs. I'm going to get a drink of water while we listen to this word from our friends over at Eternal Roofing.
Eternal Roofing only uses the finest materials in the roofing business while providing an exceptional warranty. Why do they use CertainTeed products? Because they complement any appearance, provide exceptional and reliable strength, and are known for their enduring performance. Here's what Shane Sosa had to say about Eternal Roofing. Taylor and his team are amongst the highest level of professionals. They care about their customers and go above and beyond just doing the job. Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539 or email Taylor at eternalroofingtx.com.
6 p.m. tonight. And 6 p.m., by the way. 6 p.m. Maybe we could get an early bedtime.
Yeah, earliest kick, I think, so far this year.
It is a nice one. I believe there's a baseball game tonight as well. Probably the American League Series. But, nobody's worried about baseball right now, Corey, because we're talking about the Cats. CBS Sports Network. Jack Gordon, Taylor McHargan on the call. Look, UTEP comes in 1-5 overall. That one win is UT Martin and FCS school. They're 0-2 in Conference USA. Scotty Walden in his second season as selling cars at UTEP with an impressive 4-14 record. The Miners lead the overall series 3-1, but the Cats took a 41-21 victory last season in El Paso. But this Miners team, they got a defense. The best in Conference USA, and it's really not close. They're third in FBS, giving up 350.8 yards per game and 22.9% on third down conversions. Benjamin, they give up 22.9% on third down conversions, and they're facing an offense that converts about 18%, and that's an improvement.
It is. It's a very impressive defense. Held Texas to 27 points, held Liberty to 19 points. They can get after the quarterback. They got a good D-line, and similar to Houston or Sam Houston, their offense has just been really, really bad. And they went through a quarterback change last week, putting Skylar Locklear back in. Sounds like he's going to be the starter again. He got announced as a captain like an hour ago for tonight. So we'll see if they can build any sort of offense, but it definitely feels like it's going to be a struggle to score for both teams tonight.
I like this one. Jason, do not do this to me today. Is Shell Energy Stadium the closest stadium to a major league park in CUSA, or are we just stretching for content on social media now? You're referencing my friends over at East Texas A&M who got some shots taken at them by SPP.
Yes, and the only other stadium that comes to mind is Pitbull Stadium. I don't know how close that is to the Marlins Stadium, but that's the only other one that comes to mind.
All right, well, let's get back into this series history here. UTEP, did you know that they lead Conference USA in sacks and tackles for losses? They've had 16 sacks, 49 TFLs. That's incredible. They're 3-5 in weekday CUSA games and 2-2 on the road in those games, which I don't think is necessarily surprising because bad teams, and let's face it, UTEP has been bad for a while. They usually play a little better on the road because ain't nobody show up at home.
And there's, to the cushions part of the headline for today, I don't know how many people will be in attendance down at Shell, which will be interesting. And another random note that I just thought of, I watched this game last year from a Delta flight from Atlanta to Houston. So that was interesting, having to watch and tweet that game from a Delta flight 35,000 feet in the air.
You're a dedicated Cats fan.
I am.
Dedicated. The Miners, here's a stat for you. They're tied for first in FBS with 4 2-point conversions this year.
We could have used some of that last week. A lot.
I'm sorry, I talked over you, but they've been behind a lot.
Oh, yes. Just like Sam Houston.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, they've only lost one fumble this season.
That's
Now,
impressive.
yeah, but they've thrown a ton of flipping interceptions.
Well, and that's a big reason why they changed quarterbacks. So they were with Malachi Nelson. That was their starter for the first 4 or 5 games. Former 5-star guy that's bounced around everywhere. Doesn't look like it's going to fit here at UTEP either. I think he threw 4 or 5 against Louisiana Tech, and that was a big reason why he got benched last week against Liberty, or going into the Liberty game. So we'll see what Skylar Locklear can do. I think if he can take care of the ball a little bit more, that'll be an upgrade over Nelson.
They also only average 5.5 penalties per game. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean they've flashed at times. I mean, obviously the record is not good. It's not been a good year overall, but you handled the FCS team like you're supposed to. You competed with Texas. You were with Liberty that entire game. The defense has really shown some good things. So it's not been a good year overall, but they've flashed in some spots, but clearly have not put it together.
Friend of the show, Adrian Broadus, captured these thoughts from Scotty Walden on Phil Longo and Sam Houston.
Friend of mine, man, I've known him through the years. Just an amazing story. Being a small college guy and has become a P5 coordinator now getting an opportunity as a head coach. One of the best offensive minds out there. Phenomenal human being, phenomenal scheme that he runs. He is extremely hard to defend because while they have air raid principles, he will run the ball. He'll RPO you. He'll quarterback run game you, +1 run game you. He's a really smart offensive mind and a smart football coach. And he's got those guys playing extremely hard. You watch on tape, they are playing extremely hard and physical. Like their defense last night against Jacksonville State, I thought they fought. Getting to watch that game, I thought his team fought, and just man, that guy hit a 52-yard field goal. So they've been close, and they run and hit on defense. They got those guys coached up, primed up, ready to go. I think that the thing that makes their team run though, man, and I even said this last year to you guys, is Hunter Watson. I make sure I got his name right. Hunter Watson and I believe he's from Salina, if I'm not mistaken. He's a winner. That dude is a winner. That dude. He almost willed them to victory last night. I mean, he runs physical. He's a true dual threat. To me, he's the guy that we got to hone in on defense and be ready. And you look at their receivers; those cats can run. They got guys that can run. They got the number 22, McCaskill, the running back, is a big physical downhill back. So, you can look at their record and say what you want. As coaches, we watch tape. Those dudes can play. They got players, and so we gotta have a great week of practice to be ready.
Okay, first off, the producer did not get the background well for this one. Second off, at least he knows that that we're the Cats. Hey,
yeah, he knows his stuff.
Yeah, he knows his stuff. And third, man, that guy is a player. He's a winner. Let me make sure I get his name right.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people have marketed or likened Scotty Walden to a used car salesman. You can kind of see it there. He is selling you on some Bearkats.
Yeah, I think used car salesman's not really fair. Let's call him a WWE promotion artist.
Yeah.
Because he could get out there in the ring, man, and he could get some people going.
Oh, yeah. And he has. You've seen him at the basketball games. You've seen him at other stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's got that WWE-type personality. Jason Plotkin again weighs in on YouTube. The challenge with weekday CUSA is these long layoffs between games. Like after this one, Sam Houston, they lose tonight. They're saddled with a loss to hang their heads on heading into the Law Tech game.
Yeah, 2-week gap.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. And by the way, next week we are going to preview men's and women's basketball, maybe even talk a little European football. We want educated people at soccer. And so we'll do that. We'll also review this game next week, but you will get basketball coverage next week on March to the Pod.
Yeah. And to kind of play into Jason's comment there with the CUSA weekday stuff, not a huge difference, but Sam Houston's on a 6-day week and UTEP's on a 7-day week. Not a huge difference, and you're at home for both. UTEP's traveling, so evens out. It's about as even as you can get with the travel. So I think CUSA did a pretty good job with these couple of weeks for us.
I agree. I agree. I think they made it as probably best as they could. Here's what Phil Longo had to say about Scotty Walden.
Oh, Scotty and I have known each other for a little while. We know each other pretty well. We've spent some time together talking ball, and we've known each other, I'm going to say 4 or 5 years now. So I'm well aware how he coaches. He is a super energy guy. He is passionate about football. I think his players know that, and I think it rubs off on them. I think that's the way they approach it. At least that's the way it seems from their the energy that they have on the field and the way they play. So this is a challenging game for us because he's intelligent. They do some. They're pretty diverse and pretty multiple on both sides of the football, and that adds a little bit more of a mental challenge this week than I think it has in some of the past games.
Talk about 6 days, having to prepare for so much that could play a role in.
Yeah, and it's the schedule this year to where you've had huge gaps in between games, and you finally have kind of a normal week, and it's even a short week by a day. So intrigued to see what the preparation looks like for them as a coaching staff, new coaching staff. Kind of something to take into consideration. They haven't really gone through a short week before. They've had extended periods of time multiple times this year.
We told you about the UTEP defense, how good it is. Longo had some things to say about it as well.
We wanted us to start fast last week. We didn't necessarily do that, but we did get into a groove and then played well after that. And I think starting fast against this defense is equally as important. I think one of the things that UTEP does defensively is they are extremely multiple, not just on the back end. We thought we were going to get multiple coverage looks last week. Thought we needed to be on point to handle that stuff. This week they are. They're a multiple front team, multiple pressure team, multiple coverage team, and so the preparation, especially in a short week with only 6 days, has been pretty intense because we've got to be on point again with regards to different defensive situations and where and how we're going to attack on offense.
All right. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what more to say. Like, you got to. But I think the biggest concern for me coming into this game is the offensive line and how it holds up against a tremendous defensive line. We'll discuss that in a moment, but here's what Longo had to say about that D-line and that battle with the O-line first.
This is one of the more challenging D-lines. They have a high number of sacks, high number of TFLs, high number of throw disruptions. So they are extremely active in the offensive backfield. Zero is a player. He is a player. 32 is a player. Those two guys are scheme changers. So you've got to know where they are on the field and what they're doing, and then you've got to be able to handle and manage this defensive line. They stunt well. They don't do a lot of exotic stuff, but what they do they do very well. And they play aggressively, and they play with a lot of energy. Again, I think that's their head coach, and I'm sure that's the way their staff is asked to coach. And so they look like they're having a good time when they're out there, and they execute well. They're sharp. So it'll be a challenge for the O-line. They have gotten better from an efficiency standpoint from week to week. The one thing I do like about our O-line is they like a challenge, and they know this is going to be a challenge to play against the UTEP defensive line, and I think they, from a mental standpoint, they're up to the task.
Okay. Will they be up to the task tonight, Benjamin?
I think it's 50-50, honestly. The second half against Jack State was the best this line had looked the entire year, and maybe you start to find your footing a little bit, shuffle some guys around. I know I had mentioned last week how the guards had moved spots, and they were starting to have some guys go in and out at the right guard position to keep them fresh. So maybe you found something a little bit, but this is probably your biggest test outside of Texas. So, yeah, I think it's 50-50. We'll see if it's legit, the changes that they've made, if they can hold up for the long run.
If they cannot protect Hunter Watson, give him at least 3 to 4 seconds, it's going to be a long night for this Cats offense. defense.
Yeah, we saw that at the beginning of the last game. Hunter was just getting killed. He almost had to come out of the game, it looked like, in the first half. So you got to keep him upright, and if you can see what he can do with his arm.
Yeah, definitely. But hey, got to keep him upright. You know what else you got to do? You got to get on that calendar at Eternal Roofing for the Christmas lights. Ben, we're in the middle of October, for crying out loud.
Oh, yeah, you only got a few weeks left.
You do. And here's how you do it. We're going to hear about it from our friends at Eternal Roofing.
Eternal Roofing is locally owned and dedicated to giving back to the community by supporting local organizations and charities. They are also the winner of Nextdoor's Neighborhood Faves for 2 consecutive years. And as you know, if you've listened to this podcast, Eternal Roofing is your choice for Christmas lights. They provide premium lights tailored to fit your home, season-long maintenance, and hassle-free removal. Kyle Tatum said, "They're very professional and great quality, on time and clean, and really made me feel like they cared for me and my home." Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539, or you can email taylor@eternalroofingtx.com.
We've got predictions coming up, but first, Ben, take the stage. Tell us the latest you've got from the Cat Fund.
Yeah, cat-fund.com. There you go. You can sign up, become a member today for as little as $10 a month. And like I mentioned a couple weeks ago, the insider content is starting to pick back up a little bit. Had our baseball stuff last week, had a basketball preview, staff update, secret scrimmage update from Sunday night in there yesterday. So definitely want to sign up, get access to those perks, support Sam Houston athletes. And yeah, we need you. It takes everybody.
It does take everyone. We also need you in the seats tonight at Shell Energy Stadium because the Miners are coming into town. And, man, they bring that defense. But first, before we get into this week's predictions, let's take a look at where we stand on the season after last week. Jack State entered, as a 7-point favorite with a total of 55. Ben had the Gamecocks winning 31-13, a cover and under. I had the Gamecocks winning 38-13, a cover and over. Jack State won 29-27. That field goal made it what? Over. Made it over.
Yes.
Neither one of us hit on the spread, Ben. It was the first time this year you failed to hit on the spread. You're 5-1 now and 4-2 on the totals. That's impressive stuff.
Yeah, I was 9-1 going into last week, and then you decided to pick with me, and that's why I didn't win.
I worked.
Yeah,
I am 2-4 against the spread and a very impressive 1-5 on the total this year, which means pay attention to what we're about to say because I am going to win you money, obviously.
Yeah, by doing the opposite.
Exactly. So Sam Houston opened as a 2.5-point favorite, a total of 46.5. That is flipped. UTEP is now a 2.5-point favorite. Total has gone up a point to 47.5. So Vegas projects UTEP wins tonight 25-22.5, which we know is impossible. Benjamin, what say you?
Yeah, I love the under. That's probably my favorite bet tonight, so I'm definitely going under. And I have Sam Houston winning. I had them winning in the prediction for the CUSA roundtable, so sticking to that. Going to be very close. I don't think this is going to be a blowout either way. I'm going to say Sam Houston 23-21. They find a way to win a close one, get on the board in the win column, and this is probably your most winnable game for the rest of the year. At home against a 1-5 team they're coming to you. So yeah, this is one you got to have. Feels like a must win for you. So I'm going to go Sam Houston 23, UTEP 21.
Boy, do I have bad news for you.
Oh gosh, you agreeing with me?
Because you've got Sam Houston covering and you're going under. Well, listen, obviously my picks have been not that great. So I went to ChatGPT today, and I'm letting ChatGPT do the work for me. Tight field goal game, decided by 3 points or less. Estimated probability, 45%. You're right there, right?
Yep.
One score game, 4-8, there's a 30% chance. So that tells us this game's going to be tight. The books expect mid-range scoring and not a shootout, not with these offenses. Home games lean under for Sam Houston, but they're competitive. The defense bends, but red zone stands, keep opponents in field goal range. UTEP tends to play to the pace of the opponent, more likely to win tight than to blow teams out. ChatGPT is awesome, right? I should use them more often. It says if Sam Houston wins, this is what ChatGPT says, so let's go with it. If Sam Houston wins, it's more likely 23-20 or 24-21. That's right around what you say, right?
Yep.
If UTEP wins, it's more like 26-23 or 27-24. So here is a projected scoring timeline for you to go put all your prop bets on for tonight. First quarter, 10:42 left. UTEP hits a 41-yard field goal, takes a 3-0 lead. The Cats bend, but the red zone stand, it's not a red zone stand unless they lost a lot of yards on it. They force a field goal. 5:18 to go in the first quarter. Sam Houston scores a touchdown on a play-action pass. Crowd gets into it early. Offense mixes that tempo up. They've got a 7-3 lead. Second quarter, 12:50 left. UTEP gets a power run inside the 5 for a touchdown, and they take a 10-7 lead as they start to lean on the Cats front. 6:11 left to go. Cats strike with a 38-yard field goal to tie it up at 10, and the drive stalled after a penalty on second and short. Second quarter, 1:54 left. UTEP takes a 13-10 lead with a 36-yard field goal. They win the field position exchange that we're likely to see. So at halftime, UTEP leads 13-10. It's a tight game, and both teams are under 200 yards of offense. That sounds pretty solid to put some money on.
Yeah.
Second half, third quarter, 10:20 to play. UTEP touchdown. It's a screenplay that busts for big 24 yards. Momentum briefly swings as UTEP now has a 20-10 lead. Looks a lot like last week, don't it? Third quarter, 4:37 left. Sam Houston gets a touchdown. Watson keeps it. Bearkats answer to stay alive. It's 2017. We move to the fourth quarter. Cats still down 3. 11:03 left. UTEP with a field goal. Always that drive that stalls inside the 30. They're not great. Neither team is great in the red zone, and they can't kill the clock. 5:28 left. Sam Houston hits a field goal with another red zone sting by UTEP. So now 23-20. And UTEP, they're only allowing touchdowns on 47.8% of red zone trips for the opponent. That's pretty solid. 1:18 to play in regulation. UTEP hits the field goal. They go up 26-20. It puts pressure on Sam Houston. 20 seconds left in the game. I kid you not. This is how it's going to work, man. 20 seconds left in the game. Sam Houston, they got either field goal or they have to take a shot to the end zone, right? Longo chooses to go for the field goal this time, right? This way he could get that onside kick recovery and win it. 26-23 UTEP right now. So Sam Houston drives into plus territory with under a minute left, stalls around the 30, down 6. He takes a field goal rather than trying to heave it to the end zone on a third and long or fourth and long. But UTEP recovers. UTEP recovers the onside kick, and UTEP wins tonight, 26-23. Ben, mark it down. ChatGPT says that UTEP covers, and it's over. How about that?
I'm just glad I'm on the other side, so I feel good.
What? What? No, this is ChatGPT guaranteed, man.
Oh, yeah. Never wrong.
Yeah, never wrong. Well, we will find out in an hour and 5 minutes how wrong I am again, because I usually am wrong.
Yeah. And check our social media injury report. Probably comes out in about 5 minutes. Elijah Green sounds like he is out tonight. Again, we'll see what Jamire Diaz's status is, but we should have that in about 5-10 minutes.
Great plug. Go to Sports of SHSU to watch and see what's going on. That's a wrap for this episode of March to the Pod presented by Eternal Roofing. Thank you so much for joining us, no matter where you catch us, whether you watch it on Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, or you're listening to us on the podcast platform of your choice. We appreciate you. We'll be back next week with more coverage of the Bearcat athletics. Until then, Benjamin, we need a victory tonight. Take us home.
Yeah, eat 'em up, Cats, and just score more points than the Miners. That's all it takes.
Score more points than a Miner.